This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team? We can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
I love ravioli.
Oh, tanta fame.
Since when do you speak Italian?
Since we partnered with SAP Concur, their integrated travel and expense platform and breakthrough solutions with AI gave me time back to dive into our financial future. We expand into Europe in 2027, so I'm getting ready.
Well, you can predict the future?
I can predict you'll like that message.
What message? Whoa, hey, we all got bonuses.
You can save for college now.
I don't have kids.
You don't say.
SAP Concur helps your business move forward faster. Learn more at concur.com.
Deborah had to have surgery.
I had hip surgery in November of 2024.
Her United Healthcare nurse, Crystal, checked on her.
We do a routine call after surgery, and I could tell that she was struggling.
Deborah needed help.
My infection markers were through the roof.
And Crystal knew what to do.
I called the hospital and said she's coming in.
And got Deborah the help she needed.
Crystal and United Healthcare saved my life.
Hear more stories like Deborah's at uhc.com. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan area. Limitation and exclusions apply.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Hey all you heroes, hawks, heralds, crows, pirates, and wardens. Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we unpack, discuss, and galaxy brain about all the lore behind the Dragon Age series.
We are so excited to bring you this podcast. Every episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Dragon Age universe, from character deep dives to exalted marches and elven gods. We will cover it all.
There will be spoilers. And always remember, swooping is bad.
Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we talk about Dragon Age and its lore. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I'm your other host, Shelby or She-Cup.
That you are, and we are back.
We are.
We're here to talk about some Dragon Age.
Welcome back. It feels great to be back.
Yes. This doesn't feel quite as long of a break as the Assassin's Creed Lorecast, because we did that episode with the two girls.
Right. We did. That's true. And I think we have one more episode in this season than we did in that season. So.
Yes, I think you're right.
But it is still good to be back.
It is. It is very good to be back. If you aren't aware, we were out for a little bit because we had a baby.
That's right.
Yeah, whose cup name is Sippy Cup.
Yep, and he's growing like a weed.
He is.
If you want to see pictures, you can hop in the Discord.
You can. All right. So, I guess let's talk about some Dragon Age. Where are we going? What are we doing?
All right. So, we are starting a new season. You know, coming back from a break, it just feels right to jump right into a fresh season. And this season is one that we had on the books for a long time. So we are originally going to build this into the end of our book club season, because we wanted to do like literature books outside of the world paired with in-universe entertainment. And then Dragon Age The Veilguard got dropped. And we were like, okay, we've got to rethink some things. So we dropped off that second half of the season and moved on. And so we're bringing this season back. So it'll be a fairly short season before we move into season 11. But we'll probably be in this season probably until close to the end of the year. I don't know exactly how long. But what we're going to do is go through all of the like games, books, literature, all that kind of entertainment stuff, plays, theater, music, things like that. So today we're starting with Wicked Grace and other like board games.
All right. That's exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. So I'm just going to jump right into the fun facts if you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
So my first fun fact is that the developers actually intended to include a playable form of Dwarven chess in Inquisition, and they worked on the project during DA Week, which was a 5-day period when the developers could pursue various ideas. But in the end, they ended up not implementing the Dwarven chess, and it's only referenced instead.
Interesting.
Sounds like it would be fun to have like a mini game, but that's okay. And then my second fun fact, second and last, is that there is a dagger named Wicked Grace in addition to the game, and you can find that in Inquisition.
Interesting. I have never played Wicked Grace. I know that you can play it in some of the games, but I have never played it.
You've never played it in Origins?
Nope. I've barely played Origins.
Yeah, but that's how you get, I want to say that it's the duelist specialization. It's the game you play with Isabella in the Pearl.
Yeah. I played Warrior.
Okay. So you never did any of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can play it in Origins with Isabella, but before we get into all that, I want to talk about the rules, and I'm gonna compare it to True American from New Girl, because it's very much, to me, I have read like every source that is out there on this game, and I still don't understand how to play it. So I very much feel like it's one of those games where you just like make rules up. But basically, it's a card game that you have to play with 2 or more players. And it's basically like it's got an emphasis on deception and being clever and lying your way out of whatever situation you find yourself in. And so it has the goal of trying to match different hands of cards together to create a winning hand. And all of the suits are based on different virtues and vices, which is how the game gets its name of Wicked Grace. And as we've just discussed, there are at least 2 instances of the game being played in Universe, which you can play it with Isabella in Denerim, and then Varric also organizes a game at Skyhold in Inquisition. So, okay, let's get into the rules, which are very, very confusing. So, each player is dealt 5 cards, and you cannot have more than 5 cards at one time. Before your turn starts, there is a round of betting, like in poker. And then on your turn, you draw a card from the deck, you discard, or you play cards. And then you end your turn. When the Angel of Death card is drawn, it must be immediately revealed, and then the game's over. Whichever player has the best hand at this point wins the game. A note, these are very bare bones rules, and pretty much the rules of the game encourages you to cheat. And so some ways of cheating that we've seen in game is drawing more than one card, drawing from the discard pile instead, not revealing the Angel of Death card, etc. And as long as you don't get caught cheating, it's not against the rules.
Okay. So this reminds me of Sabacc.
Oh, yeah.
In Star Wars.
Very much similar to that, too.
Sabacc is much more like blackjack. And it's about basically having a winning pair of hands in a lot of stuff. And they're like very bare bone rules, but everyone cheats and there's different ways to cheat and different things like that. And it's just like, you can cheat. If you get caught, you are cheating and will be ejected.
Right.
But if you don't get caught, no one cares.
Well, it's like Lando is like the best Sabacc player ever, but he's also the best cheater ever.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I feel like Wicked Grace is a lot like that, but it's more pokery. And that kind of leads me into my next thing, because there are a bunch of different suits, which then have different cards. So like there's a serpent's suit, which has cards of avarice, decay, deceit, sadness, and a serpent entwined dagger. And then there's the suit of songs, which has cards of autumn, mercy, twilight, and temerity. And then there is the angels suits, which has the charity, death, fortitude, temerity, and truth cards. And then lastly is the suit of knights, which has the ages, compassion, dawn, mercy, roses, sacrifice, and wisdom cards. So there are there's 4 suits, just like we have, what are they? Hearts, diamonds, spades, and
clovers.
Clovers. Thank you. Gosh. And then we have, the different face cards and 1 through whatever they are. Mm-hmm. So it's similar to that, but just more Dragon Age themed. And I also want to say is that there actually may be more suits and cards than this, but these are the ones that we've had confirmed in game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so the reason why I think this is similar to poker is that we know that certain suits are higher value than others, as well as like the fact that themed cards along with multiple cards of the same suit get you higher points. So like you can have a full house, you can have a run. Like these are all things that we have in regular poker here. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty similar to that. And so 4 of a kind, that's another one. And a bad hand is basically ones that have no or few matching suits. So you want to match as much as you can. And that's kind of how you win the game, is whoever has the best hand, which is pretty much usually the most matching.
Interesting. I still don't understand, but
I know. It's just kind of like, I feel like as long... It would probably be also easy to cheat by drawing multiple cards and discarding multiple cards. And so I just feel like there's a lot of cheating in this. And the more cards you have, the higher likelihood you have to get more matching cards. Yeah. So there's a lot of cheating. There's a lot of deception, which is why I also compare it to True American, because the rules are like not very well established.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Wicked Grace is kind of like one of those games like, Mexican Train Dominoes or Chicken Foot, where like there are a set number of rules, but depending on what house you go to, what family you play with it, there's going to be different like house rules that
That's
apply
probably
in there.
True too. Yeah, I bet that's very true. All right, so that's Wicked Grace, but there are a lot more games that we can get into after our mid-break.
All right, well, let's go to the mid-break.
This episode is brought to you by FXX and Hulu. Futurama returns on September 15th, blending heartfelt moments with razor-sharp humor while accidentally saving the day. The Planet Express crew is back, defying gravity and common sense. From the creator of The Simpsons comes 10 new episodes where the romance is hotter, the threats are bigger, and the action hits harder. Don't miss the all-new season of Futurama returning September 15th at 8 p.m. Watch it on FXX or stream it on Hulu.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/Spotify. That's greenlight.com/Spotify.
Introducing the perfect companion to your morning listening routine. AG1's clinically backed formula is now flavor-packed with 3 new delicious flavors: tropical, berry, and citrus. Start the day on a high note with probiotics that taste like the tropics. Mix it up with micronutrients that taste like berry or citrus. And take it all the way back with the classic AG1 Original with notes of pineapple and vanilla. Do your health a flavor, or 4, with AG1 Next Gen, the daily health drink. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
That is uncharacteristically wise of you.
Yes, well, don't let it get around. I have a reputation.
We hear odd stories of Templars in the Imperium, Dorian.
All true.
I haven't even told you what I've heard.
Doesn't matter. All true. Particularly the part with the grapes and feathers.
Oh, I was leading towards that one, actually.
Please, go on. First Talon. What? Seeing if you've got the hang of your new title yet. Right, me. First Talon. If you join the Wardens, you could become the first Warden who's also First Talon. The first Talon Warden. Or First Talon First Warden. Is that the First Talon who is a Warden, or the first Talon First Warden? So many possibilities.
All right, well, welcome to the middle of the show where we take time to thank our patrons. So thank you to all of our patrons. We are so glad that you have joined us here. And we're getting excited for our patron chat, which is happening in a week, something like that. But we're excited about that. Thank you for supporting us. Another great way to support us is to leave us ratings and reviews. If you have left us a comment or review while we were on break, we are trying to catch up. Just know that it might be a while before we get to there. So today I have a comment from our Stolen Throne episode. This comes from YouTube from Nichelle and says, so excited for another DA podcast. Thank you so much for that comment on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. And the last thing I have to share with you is to join our Discord server. We love having the Discord talking about Dragon Age and all the theories and everything like that. Come hang out with us. It's one of the best places on the internet. And so I'm really excited about that. I think that's all I have for the middle of the show.
Yeah, I just want to add, I didn't realize people were leaving us on comments on our YouTube channel. So I have gone through all those. So if you've left us a review on YouTube, those have been put into the list.
Yes. Yes, they have. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get back into it.
All right.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Your earbud fell in a coffee cup. You need a taco pick-me-up. When modern life gets rough, grab the timeless taste you love. Paso, the old El Paso.
New Icy Hot. Nighttime recovery. Relieves pain at nighttime while your body recovers. Icy Hot. You're so back.
This reminds me of a story.
Shocking.
It's about an impossibly handsome dwarf and his friend who got crowned King of the Nugs.
A Nug King? Really?
It's not as good as it sounds. Nugs mostly just shit on the floor and roll in it. Welcome to the deep roads.
Is it me, or is this the slowest lift ever constructed? It's better than climbing down.
I could do with some music. Something with a flute.
How about we skip this one? Send your man instead.
How about I shove a canary up your coal mine?
You think he'll... You fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
So let's get into the rest of these games. Another one that we are like not sure what it is Diamondback. We know that this is commonly played by the dwarven noble hunters, which are the women who try to sleep with and conceive a child with a dwarven noble to help them get out of the slums. So this is a favorite of that community of women. Though I will say that this game is actually known outside of the dwarves. And we know that there's also a strip variation of this game, and that Fenris hosts a weekly game at his mansion. Unclear if Fenris's version is strip Diamondback or not.
I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, well, let's just move on.
Okay.
Also, apparently, Varric claims that Hawks Mabari will play Diamondback with him, which is apparently a reference to a famous dogs playing poker painting by a man named Cassius Marcellus Coolidge, which is just a painting literally of dogs playing poker. That's apparently a riff on. And then lastly about Diamondback is that the name of this game is a reference to the card game of the same name from the comic series Cerebus, and that a real set of Diamondback cards was produced.
Interesting.
Again, I don't know what the game is. We don't know how to play it. We just know that it exists.
I'm very concerned if it's like blackjack or poker or... I have lots of questions about Diamondback, and I want to know how to play now.
My only thought about Diamondback is that I want to teach Snips and Queso how to play.
Snips could definitely play.
Queso, on the other hand.
I love Queso with all my heart, but she is stupid.
Yeah. She's not a smart dog. That's okay. We love her nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another game that we have is a Orlesian betting game named Chanson d'Argent, which is beloved, apparently, by Gamlin. We don't know what it is, but we know that it exists. Another game related to Uncle Gamlin is Dead Man's Tricks, which is another betting game. However, this one was invented by Gamlin. Again, don't know how to play it, don't know what it is.
This just solidifies, we know, Gamlin's gambling addiction.
Well, Gambler Gamlin.
Yep.
Say that 5 times fast. Okay, so another one is called Archon, which is a Teventer strategy game that features at least, we're not sure if there's more, but we know there's at least 3 pieces: the Magister, the Archon, and the Black Divine. The goal of this game is for you to get your Magister piece to the throne at the center of the board. We don't really know how the Archon and Black Divine pieces work, but we do know that once that the opponent has gotten the Archon piece, the game is basically lost. Dragon Age: The Last Court gives us some information about this as well, as a strategy called the Slave Sacrifice. And so in this strategy, you basically open up a way to be able to use the Black Divine piece, which to me sounds like, okay, you're going to sacrifice one of your other pieces. But that's pretty much all we know about this one. This one sounds really interesting. I want to know more about it.
Yeah, I do too. Just kind of how it works. And just like what kind of games Teventer makes up.
I know. I still feel like there's so little we actually know about Teventer.
I know.
Okay, so there are also some games that we have in our world that are also in Thedas, which is particularly chess. And there are actually 2 variants of chess that are played in Thedas, one featuring a hexagonal board and the other featuring a square board. The square board is more similar to our version of chess, and the pieces on it typically have Orlesian and Teventer themes. So for an example, the knight pieces resemble either the lion or the dragon designs. The queen piece might resemble the wings of the Orlesian throne. So all the pieces are the same, but they have different themes. However, the hexagonal version is probably the more popular version in Thedas, and you can actually see several of these chessboards throughout Skyhold in the Winter Palace, the Cantori Diamond, the Della Morte Estate, and if you're of human lineage, Rook will even have one in the Lighthouse. And so obviously Rook is one of the pieces on the board, which is where the protagonist from the Veilguard gets their nickname.
Yes, I thought they were named for the bird. until the chess piece. I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
Yes, it does. But I think if you're a crow, Rook, I think you can make the argument that it's both.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so let's go back to the square version of chess. And we know of 2 instances of it being played, at least, which is Solus and Iron Bull play this game mentally via banter in Inquisition, though they have different names for all the pieces. So Solus refers to them as pawn, knight, mage, tower, queen, and king, while Iron Bull refers to them as pawn, Ben Hassrath, Tamasaran, tower, queen, and Arashok, which I find so interesting that they're playing this game mentally, like via the banter while you're walking around. And it just really, to me, illustrates how intelligent both of them are, that they can play fucking chess in their minds with each other while like fighting shades and whatnot.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just very impressive. And then the other one that we have is Duncan. He observes Julian and Nicholas playing in The Calling. Duncan had no idea what the game even was and didn't refer to it as chess, though we can assume that it's chess from the description. They use pieces made from ivory on a checkered board, and they referred to it as an Orlesian game, which implies to me that there is at least one version of chess that's Orlesian in nature.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like Orlais would like the way chess is played, which is like playing these long games, playing like making strategic moves of sacrifice and deception, like fits in with the game. The game,
yeah.
Like it's very
is the grand game of Orlais, not just political chess.
Yes.
So I agree with you, and I also think Teventer would love it too.
Mm-hmm.
So another one that we have is, this is a very fun one. The next game is called Shepherd 6, which is actually a Mass Effect reference. And it's a game that references Shepard's 6 original squad mates in the first game: Garrus, Rex, Ashley, Liara, Kaden, and Tally. We don't know anything else about this game, unfortunately. Don't know any ways to play it. Sorry. And I think that's kind of a theme of like, hey, we have this game. We don't really know how to play it, but we know it exists in universe.
Right.
Now, the next game, and this may be the last one. Yes, this is the last game. This one is called Vendetta, and it's primarily played in Antiva and is the signature game of the Cantori Diamond in Treviso. It's played with a divination deck. There are Death and the Fool who trade ownership, and you basically eliminate you eliminate a major arcana card each time one of the two pass. And so you can then rebuild your hand with the minor arcana cards. Eventually, Death will take the Fool, and whoever has the best final draw at this point wins the game. It's rumored that this game, the entire game, is really just an extravagantly silent way to discuss contracts, outcomes, and machinations of the crows silently and without any weapons.
That tracks, especially like with Treviso's and Antiva's like almost witchy vibe. Like it's not as witchy as Ravane, but I mean Ravane's right there. So like it makes sense that something like this would be used. And I mean like you have basically a conversation about a contract over coffee at the cafe. Like, so it makes sense that they would do something like this too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like of all of the countries, Antiva is the most glamorous. And I think this totally fits right into that kind of aura.
Yeah, and almost like in this glamorous, like, yeah, we just like, murdered a bunch of people. But
let's party.
But look how fine my leather outfit
Yeah,
is.
and I mean, it's not like, it's very Vegas. It's very much like, we're going to put on this facade of glitz and glamour and money and all things luxurious in life. And then behind the scenes, it's going to be a massacre.
Mm-hmm.
I think Teventer also has that, but in a much different way, because while Antivans are masters at like covering up covering up what's behind that curtain. Hi, CP Cup. Tevinter is not.
Yes.
Tevinter is not very good at hiding the effects of their bloodlust.
I think that I don't have a way to explain this, but like Tevinter is very like Gilded Age America. Like things can look outside of like, oh, they're shiny, they have great magical advancements, they're really wealthy, they have all of this stuff, but when you look at the inside, like it's dead. And like that's the point of the Gilded Age. Like a gilded lily, like yeah, it's shiny and gold, but on the inside it's just
nothing.
It's just a dead flower.
Right. And I feel like Tevinter, there is no culture other than magic and power.
Correct.
And Tiva at least has some culture.
Yes, very much so.
It also might be violent and mostly about the crows, but I do feel like there's something more there than there is with Tevinter, at least.
I definitely agree.
All right, so those are all the games we know of in Thedas. There are more forms of entertainment that we're going to get to in the rest of this season. But do you have any thoughts on these board games and card games before we move on to our side character?
I just wish we knew a little bit more. It would be nice to have just like here's just rules that you can play this game, whether even if Diamondback is like played with dice or something like that. Like,
yeah, my takeaway from all this is I really want BioWare's Gear Store to release any of these as actual games that we could play. And because other video games have done that, like The Witcher has released whatever that game is.
Gwent. You can play Gwent.
Yeah, Gwent. And Valhalla has released the game in that you can play.
I forget what it's called.
And I'm pretty sure Star Wars has done different ones too. And so it'd be really cool if we could get like the Vendetta game or Wicked Grace. Both of those, I feel like we've got enough to know about. But
yeah. All right. Well, I think we're ready for our side character.
Okay, so today's side character is a pretty obscure one, but one of my favorites. So she is/was a bard, a scholar, a member of the Chantry, and a writer known for quite a few literary works. Today we are discussing formerly Sister Laudine. And if you haven't seen her name written down, formerly is in parentheses. So she is a human mage, untrained, who was once a sister of the Chantry. She willingly left the church, though, because she felt that there was too big of a gap between the potential and the actual of the Chantry. And those are her words. And basically what that means is that like the practicalities of the modern day Chantry of the Dragon Age differed too much from the history, the ideals, and the theology of the Chantry that Laudine knew and loved, which is a sentiment that I find myself very much understanding.
Yes. And I think that's all we really need to say on that matter.
I empathize with her situation.
Yes.
So her writing specialty is a fun one. She focuses in all things sensual and heretical about the Chantry, especially in Orlais. So she first received her first censure from the Chantry over an ancient relic, which was a clay fragment. And the Chantry held that the tablet, which was originally elven in nature, was proof of some elves' belief in, quote, the Maker's flowering glory. Laudine held, on the other hand, that it was actually a manual of marital instruction.
Not me when you say the Maker's flowering glory going kinky. And then Laudine having the exact same thought.
Yeah, so to me, this reminds me a lot of the book of Song of Solomon in the Bible.
Yeah.
Which, if you're unfamiliar, is...
It's a book about love.
Okay, because I was going to say it's ancient smut. But yeah, it's about love.
Smut's not the right word.
Poetry written to the glory of your lover.
Yes.
Married lover.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Exposing love in all aspects.
Okay.
Maybe
let's move
smut.
on.
Maybe smut is the best word.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So some of her other works include literary works like Our Orlesian Heart, Songs of Old Orlais, She of the Highwayman Repents, and Valrio Excesses Grand and Otherwise. And she also has a lot of codex entries, some of which are The Lover's Alcove, La Pomme Vie et Mort, Valrio, and The Mystery and Meaning of 8 Silks. Something I want to say, which is a goal we should all aspire to, is that all of her work has since been completely denounced by the Chantry.
Excellent. I'm really surprised that, is it like, it's not the Daughters of Andraste, the one that's like the crazy sex cult?
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember which one they are, but yeah.
But we don't know if like she's a part of it.
I'm sure that, I don't think she's the part of them because they're an ancient one, but I'm pretty sure she wrote about them, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, Sister Laudine does appear in To Winter Nights, specifically in the Genitivi Dies in the End chapter. She, along with Philium, a bard, and brother Genitivi, gets sent on an expedition to the Silent Plains to find the true history of the Elven Pantheon. Along the way, they're attacked by the Antom, led by Rasan. They had found an elven library that had fallen into the deep roads. And so as they're kind of exploring all this, the Antom arrive and they have a battle. And what happens is Laudine attacks with her magic. And she basically like uses so much of her magic. And because she's untrained and has expended so much magic at once, she turns herself tranquil. Unintentionally. Philium and Genitivi are mortally wounded, but in reality, none of this is actually what happens. They have concocted this story in order to hide from the Antom that they believe will still follow them. And so they all decide to continue writing, but under different pseudonyms. So we don't really know if she has a pseudonym that she's going to continue writing under in some of the codex entries in the Veilguard. But if you want to dig through them and come up with some theories, I would love to hear that. But I think Sister Laudine is a really fun character, one that I would have loved to see more from, but definitely a great codex writer too.
Yes. We love a good girl who gets denounced by the Chantry because she says you're not Chantry enough.
Right. No, I mean, that's exactly what she did, is that, hey, modern day Chantry, you're not, you've strayed too far from what the ancient Chantry and the Chantry of the Divine Age was intended to be. So you go, girl, you tell them.
I don't think she's wrong.
I don't either. I absolutely agree.
I think Andraste would lead a rebellion against them, especially for their exalted march on the Dales.
No, and I agree. And I really think, I know this is off topic, but I really think that like the Chantry as we know it in the Dragon Age and the Chantry as we know it in the Divine Age are so different. And what kind of marks that division is, in my opinion, the exalted march on the Dales. Like once they do that, I really don't think there's it just the division of the elves when Andraste partnered with them, like that marks such a big difference that cannot be overstated, and I don't think it really can be overcome either.
Yeah, there's just so much time between the Divine Age and the Dragon Age. I mean, almost 1,000 years. And I think about that in like terms of Christianity and just like how different we are from them. I mean, you really can't say like a first century, when this is 2,000 years, like a first century Christian and a Christian nowadays, no matter what denomination, even if you want to go with what people consider the closest to that, which is the Roman Catholic Church, like night and day.
Yeah, I mean, and part of it is just like when you're in the early days of a religion, like you don't have centuries of traditions that we've always done this way. And so it's easier to change things. It's easier to do new things. You're not as attached to the things that you've always done. So I think that's a big part of it too. And like when, if she was writing in these early days of the Chantry, she probably wouldn't have been seen as so, controversial, because everything, it hadn't been centuries of these things being unquestioned or unchallenged.
Right, exactly. But anyway, great character, great little games to bring in. I think we're ready to wrap up unless you have some other things to do.
No, I think that we are. Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for bringing this research. We greatly appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all had fun, and thank you for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at DA Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions, topics to unpack, or side character suggestions, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's easily the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. You can find us there on patreon.com/DragonAgeLorecast.
The Dragon Age Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, give a big thank you to Pipe Man Studios. Thank you, Pipe Man. Thanks again for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
Need a little refreshment in your day? Gongcha's got you covered. Right now, get an iced large freshly brewed black, Earl Grey, green, or oolong tea for just $3. All day, every day. No gimmicks, no time limits, just a bold, crisp, fun flavor that hits the spot. Whether you're powering through your workday or chilling on the weekend, this deal is always on. So go ahead, sip fresh, sip fun, sip Gongcha. Find your flavor today.
How well do you know your video game lovers?
Have you ever wondered how your video game bays stack up against all the other delectable digital dates?
I'm Genesis, the girl whose motto in life is love, laugh, tequila. And on Two Girls, One Ship, we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer.
And I'm Vervada, the hopeless romantic cat lady and lifelong gamer.
But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of physical connection.
Or from the deep emotional connections built between two characters, using specific in-game dialogue and the overall narrative journey. So join the Two Girls, One Ship shipsters, and remember,
beauty is in the eye of the controller.